where we plunge into fascinating topics to help you develop a fundamental understanding of anything under the sun.
Great to be here.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into meditation, really trying to move beyond the buzzwords.
Hmm.
We want to understand the science, the actual established advantages, and how it really works. We've looked at a bunch of solid sources like articles and research from Healthline and Harvard.
Yeah, some really good stuff out there.
So when you hear meditation, I think most people picture like peace, relaxation,
Hmm.
maybe something very zen.
Sure, that's the common image.
But what is it, really, at its core?
Well, essentially, meditation is a practice. It's about training your mind, teaching it to focus and redirect your thoughts.
Training the mind.
Yeah.
How?
Usually by focusing your attention maybe on your breath or specific thought or even just an activity, the aim is to build awareness.
Awareness of yourself and your surroundings.
Exactly. And through that, people find it helps reduce stress, improve concentration, build self-discipline, even things like getting better sleep or having a more positive outlook.
I read it can even increase pain tolerance. That sounds pretty wild.
It does sound surprising, but there's research suggesting just that. It's becoming way more popular as people discover these kinds of, well, quite diverse health benefits.
Okay, so benefits.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something fascinating before we started, that it's not just a feeling. It actually changes your brain.
That's right. And this is where it gets really interesting from a scientific perspective.
Yeah.
We're talking measurable changes. It's not just relaxation, it's actual structural and functional shifts happening inside your head.
Structural shifts. Like what?
For instance, regular meditation practice has been shown to increase the density of gray matter in certain brain regions.
Gray matter. Remind us what that does.
It's heavily involved in things like learning, memory, regulating emotions, and even being able to see things from different perspectives.
Wow. Okay, so you're saying meditation physically beefs up parts of the brain. How do we know that?
There's some compelling evidence. A really well-known study from Harvard by Sarah Lazar and Britta Holsel back in 2011 looked at this directly.
What did they do?
They had people go through an 8-week program called Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, or MBSR. It's quite a standard program.
And they scanned their brains.
Exactly, before and after. Using MRI scans, they found measurable increases in gray matter density in the hippocampus, which is super important for learning and memory, and also in structures linked to self-awareness, compassion, introspection, those kinds of higher functions.
And how much meditating do these people actually do? Was it hours a day?
Get this, on average, participants reported practicing mindfulness exercises for about 27 minutes each day.
Just 27 minutes. And that showed up on an MRI.
Yep. It's pretty remarkable, such a relatively small daily time commitment leading to these physically observable brain changes. It really underlines that it's not just subjective.
That is compelling. So it increases gray matter in some areas. Does it decrease it anywhere? Or maybe decrease activity?
Ah, good question. Yes, and this connects directly to stress. The same Harvard study found something else interesting.
What was that?
Participants reported feeling less stressed, right? And this reduction in stress actually correlated with a decrease in gray matter density in the amygdala.
The amygdala. That's the brain's sort of alarm system, the fear center.
Precisely. It plays a huge role in anxiety and our stress responses. So the finding suggests that with regular meditation, your amygdala's density might decrease, or at least its reactivity diminishes.
Leaning to less anxiety, more calm.
Exactly. It helps dial down that automatic emotional fight or flight reaction that can get triggered so easily.
So if we pull back and look at the bigger picture, this sounds a lot like neuroplasticity, doesn't it? The brain changing itself.
That's precisely what it is. These studies are fantastic examples of neuroplasticity in action. It's the brain's amazing ability to reorganize, to form new neural connections all through our lives.
Like exercising a muscle makes it stronger and more adaptable.
That's a great analogy. And this adaptability, fostered by meditation, could translate into better problem-solving skills, more mental flexibility, basically a more resilient brain.
Okay, structural changes are one thing. What about, like, the brain's electrical activity? Does meditation affect brain waves?
Oh, absolutely. That's another major area of research.
Yeah.
Meditation definitely influences brainwave patterns.
How so?
We tend to see an increase in theta waves. Those are linked to deep relaxation, creativity, maybe even intuitive thought,
Okay.
and also an increase in alpha waves. Alpha waves are associated with calm, focused states. Sometimes people call it being in the zone or a flow state.
Right, that feeling of effortless concentration.
Exactly. And conversely, meditation tends to decrease beta wave activity. Beta waves are dominant when we're actively thinking, maybe stressed, or even overthinking and ruminating.
So it quiets the busy mind.
In a sense, yes. And interestingly, in very experienced long-term meditators, researchers have observed increased gamma wave activity.
Gamma. What's that associated with?
Heightened cognitive functioning, high-level awareness, even compassion. It's a fascinating area.
And how do they measure these wave changes?
Primarily using EEG electroencephalography. It records the electrical activity non-invasively, letting researchers see these shifts in brain waves both during meditation and potentially as long-term traits.
That's incredible. So we can see structural changes with MRI, electrical changes with EEG. Does this kind of evidence help, legitimize meditation in the eyes of science and medicine?
I think it absolutely does. It moves meditation away from being seen as just sort of woo-woo or purely anecdotal.
Right.
It provides a biological basis for the benefits people report. Take depression, for example. Another Harvard researcher, Gail DeBoard, has done work here.
What did her research find?
Her studies suggest meditation has benefits against depression. Maybe not a magic cure-all, but she described it as having a moderate effect size on par with other treatments.
Okay, so comparable to existing therapies.
But here's something really cool. Her fMRI research showed changes in brain activity again, in the amygdala, in people who learned to meditate, even when they weren't actively meditating at that moment in the scanner.
Wow. Okay, so the effects linger. It's not just while you're doing it.
That was the key finding, yeah. It suggested a more lasting impact on how the brain functions day to day.
A genuine rewiring, almost.
You could think of it that way. And her ongoing work is looking at clinically depressed patients using something called mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, or MBCT.
What's the focus there?
She's exploring how MBCT affects brain networks involved in interoception. That's our sense of our own body, like noticing your heartbeat or breath, and also rumination, those looping negative thoughts common in depression.
Trying to see if it helps people break out of those negative cycles faster.
Exactly. The hope is that it helps patients learn to disengage from those harmful thought patterns more quickly and effectively.
Okay, let's just pause and unpack this for everyone listening. We're not just talking about feeling a bit calmer or more zen.
Not at all.
We're discussing actual physical changes in the brain, changes in structure, like gray matter, and changes in function, like brain waves, and activity in key areas like the amygdala.
That's the core message from the science.
So the big question then is, what does this mean for you, listening right now? How do these brain changes translate into real-world benefits, tangible advantages in your life?
Right, let's connect the dots.
It feels like the real power here isn't just the momentary feeling, but maybe actively reshaping how we respond to things emotionally, like building better resilience.
That's definitely a huge part of it, emotional resilience and better self-regulation.
Which leads us right into stress and anxiety, I suppose. That's probably the #1 reason people try meditation.
It certainly is one of the most common, and the research backs it up strongly. Meditation demonstrably reduces physiological markers of stress, things like cortisol levels, heart rate.
The physical signs of stress.
Yes. And because of that, it might help improve symptoms of conditions that are often made worse by stress. Think irritable bowel syndrome, PTSD, even fibromyalgia.
Makes sense.
There are specific studies, too. An 8-week mindfulness program, for example, was found to reduce anxiety symptoms in people diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. Another study showed it helped with job-related anxiety.
Okay, so it helps manage the external pressures. But what about our internal world, our own emotions, how we see ourselves?
That's another key area. Meditation, especially mindfulness practices, seems to foster improved self-image and a more positive outlook generally.
How to do that?
By helping you develop a clearer understanding of yourself, really, you start to notice your thought patterns, including the unhelpful or harmful ones, without immediately getting swept away by them.
So you can recognize them without necessarily acting on them or believing them.
Precisely. Mindfulness meditation has been linked to fewer negative thoughts and improvements in symptoms of depression. It can also, interestingly, help reduce feelings of loneliness and even encourage more social connection.
Really? How does meditation lead to more social contact?
It might be indirect, perhaps, by reducing social anxiety or fostering a more open and positive attitude. Plus, there's a specific type called loving kindness meditation, or metta,
Right, right.
which explicitly focuses on cultivating feelings of compassion and kindness, both towards yourself and towards others. So it's not just about feeling better internally, it's about changing how you relate to the world and the people in it.
Mhm.
Kind of like upgrading your emotional software.
I like that, upgrading your emotional software. Okay, so emotional resilience is huge. What about our thinking? Does it make our minds sharper, more flexible,
Absolutely. That's another major cluster of benefits. Think improved cognitive function.
like focus? So many people struggle with staying focused these days.
Definitely focus. Studies show meditation can literally lengthen your attention span. One study found improved attention and accuracy on tasks after just 8 weeks, meditating for only about 13 minutes a day.
13 minutes, that's really not much.
No, it suggests even short, consistent practice can make a difference. It's like building up a mental muscle.
Does it help with memory, too? Especially as we get older.
There's promising research there. It might help reduce age-related memory loss. One specific technique called Kirtan Kriya. It involves chanting a mantra while doing specific finger movements,
Okay.
was shown to improve performance on neuropsychological tests in older adults compared to a control group.
Interesting. So better focus, maybe better memory.
Mm-hmm.
What about creativity?
Yes, that too. By helping to quiet the mental chatter and allowing the mind to be more open and less fixed, it can foster creativity and allow new perspectives to emerge. It helps you cut through the noise.
Cutting through the noise.
Yeah.
That sounds appealing. Now, something else that caught my eye was addiction control. How does meditation fit in there? Seems like a big leap.
It might seem like it, but it connects back to that increased self-awareness and self-control we talked about.
Ah, okay.
By becoming more aware of your internal states, including cravings and triggers for addictive behaviors, you gain a bit more power over them. You learn to observe them without immediately reacting.
But you notice the urge without automatically giving in.
That's the idea. For example, research on transcendental meditation found links to lower stress, less psychological distress, reduced alcohol cravings, and actually less alcohol use in people with alcohol use disorder.
Wow.
Other studies suggest it can help with managing emotional eating or binge eating, again, likely by increasing awareness of the emotional triggers.
Yeah.
It helps build a stronger sense of internal control.
That's quite powerful. Okay, so we've covered emotional resilience, sharper thinking, even addiction control.
Mm.
What about purely physical benefits, things like sleep or blood pressure?
Great question. Yes, the benefits extend into the physical realm too. Sleep is a big one.
How does it help with sleep? So many people struggle with that.
Several studies show that people who meditated regularly actually stayed asleep longer and reported improvements in insomnia severity.
Why is that? Does it just relax you?
Relaxation is part of it, yes. It helps release physical tension, but crucially, it also helps you control those racing thoughts, that busy mind that often keeps people awake at night. It eases you into a state more conducive to falling and staying asleep.
That alone would be life-changing for a lot of listeners. What about pain management?
Another important area. Meditation, particularly mindfulness, appears beneficial for managing chronic pain. It might not eliminate the pain sensation entirely, but research suggests it can reduce perceived pain intensity, improve quality of life, and lessen the depression symptoms that often accompany chronic pain conditions.
It changes your relationship to the pain, perhaps.
That seems to be a key mechanism, yes. And finally, you mentioned blood pressure.
Yeah. Does it help with that?
It can. Studies have shown meditation can lead to decreases in blood pressure. By inducing relaxation, it reduces strain on the heart, meaning it doesn't have to work quite as hard.
How does it do that physiologically?
It seems to work by relaxing the nerve signals that coordinate heart function and the tension in blood vessel walls. Interestingly, the effect seems to be more pronounced in older individuals and those who already had higher blood pressure before they started meditating.
Fascinating. Okay, so the benefits are clearly wide-ranging brain changes, emotional health, focus, sleep, pain, blood pressure. If someone listening is now thinking, okay, I'm convinced I want to try this, how do they actually start? It seems like there are so many types.
That's a fair question. It can seem daunting, but the good news is it's incredibly accessible.
You don't need special equipment.
Not usually, no. Most forms don't require anything special, maybe just a quiet place to sit. And you can start with just a few minutes a day. You don't need to commit to an hour right away.
What are the main categories or styles someone might encounter?
Broadly speaking, you can think of two main styles. First, there's focused attention meditation.
Okay, focus on what?
The idea here is to concentrate your attention on one single thing. It could be your breath, a specific word or phrase, a mantra, a sound, maybe even a visual image. When your mind wanders, which it absolutely will,
Mm-hmm.
the practice is to gently, non-judgmentally bring your focus back to that anchor point. It's about training the attention muscle.
Okay, focused attention. What's the other main type?
The second is often called open monitoring meditation. This is a bit different. Instead of focusing narrowly, you cultivate a broader awareness.
Awareness of everything.
Pretty much. Your environment, your thoughts as they come and go, physical sensations, emotions, everything that arises in your experience. The key here is observing it all without getting caught up in it or judging it. It might involve noticing thoughts or feelings you usually suppress.
So one is like a zoom lens, the other like a wide-angle lens.
That's a pretty way to put it, yeah.
So for a complete beginner, any tips on where to start? Which style?
It kind of depends on what you're hoping to get out of it. Reading a bit about different types or trying guided meditations from apps or websites can help you see what resonates.
Guided meditations might be easier at first.
They often are, yes. If finding quiet time at home is tricky, joining a class can be really beneficial. You get guidance and the support of a community.
Good point.
Or, a simple practical tip. Try setting your alarm just 5 or 10 minutes earlier in the morning. Use that quiet time before the day gets going. Consistency is often more important than duration, especially when starting.
Build the habit first.
Exactly. And if you want something structured and well-studied, that 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, of course we mentioned earlier, is a recognized standard. Many places offer versions of it.
Okay, that's helpful. Now, are there any downsides or things people should be cautious about? We've heard so many benefits, it sounds almost too good to be true.
That's a really important point to raise. While meditation is overwhelmingly beneficial for most people, it's not without potential difficulties for some. It's not a cure-all.
What kinds of difficulties?
For a small number of individuals, particularly with very intensive or unguided practice, meditation can sometimes trigger adverse effects. This might include increased anxiety, feelings of dissociation or unreality, or even emotional instability.
Really? That's surprising.
It's not common, but it happens. Sometimes becoming highly aware of your thoughts can lead to heightened self-criticism or getting overwhelmed by negative thoughts, especially if you don't have the tools or guidance to work with them constructively.
So moderation and maybe guidance are key.
Absolutely. Balancing mindfulness practice with moderation and perhaps seeking guidance if difficult experiences arise is really important for maintaining mental well-being. It's a powerful tool, but like any tool, it needs to be used appropriately. It's not a replacement for professional mental health treatment if that's needed.
Right. Okay. That's a crucial nuance. So let's try to wrap this up. Our deep dive today really shows that meditation is, well, way more than just a wellness trend or a quick relaxation hack.
Definitely.
It's a practice grounded in science, one that demonstrably reshapes the brain, physically increasing gray matter, altering brain waves, calming the stress centers.
The evidence is quite compelling.
And for you, the listener, this translates into very real possibilities. Boosting your emotional resilience, sharpening your mind's focus and flexibility, and even improving your physical harmony, like sleep and blood pressure.
It puts a lot of power back into your own hands, suggesting you can actively cultivate your well-being.
Yeah, if you connect this to the bigger picture, it really implies that we have this inherent capacity within us to actively sculpt our own mental and physical health through consistent, intentional effort.
It's a very empowering perspective, I think.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. If dedicating just a few minutes each day can literally start to change the physical structure of your brain and improve your life in so many ways, what else might we be capable of when we truly commit to exploring and nurturing our own inner landscapes?